I am Vargard Obyron, the shadow of Nemesor Zahndrekh, a being bound by duty to a master who navigates reality as if it were a dream. For eons, I have walked beside him, my blade as sharp as my wit, my patience as enduring as the sands of time. He is a genius tactician, capable of outmaneuvering any foe, yet he perceives this galaxy not as it is, but as it once was, a fractured and bygone age when the Necrontyr waged wars of honor against rival dynasties. It is a curious delusion for a species long divorced from its flesh. To my Nemesor, the Imperium of Man is not a monolithic empire of zealots and machinery, but a noble house of Necrontyr, one that must be treated with respect, even in war. His belief in honor and decorum would be charming were it not so frequently suicidal. It falls to me, his loyal Vargard, to ensure his survival, even if that means undoing his most well-intentioned mistakes. This is the tale of one such mistake, and the swift justice I enacted to correct it. The Imperial fleet had encroached upon the outer reaches of Nemesor Zahndrekh's domain, deploying regiments of Astra Militarum to secure the contested world of Ulysses Prime. The planet, a barren wasteland dotted with ancient tomb entrances, was of strategic importance to both sides. To the Imperium, it was a potential staging ground for further incursions. To us, it was a cradle of our dormant brethren, their crypts still slumbering beneath the dust.
A misunderstanding,
Zahndrekh had declared when the enemy began their landings. He saw not invaders but misguided allies, relics of the old Necrontyr who needed to be reminded of their place within the Grand Dynasty. "Nemesor," I said, "they are not our kind. They are lesser beings, primitives. They will not parley." Zahndrekh had waved off my concerns with his usual magnanimity.
"Nonsense, Obyron. Honor demands we speak before we fight. I will dispatch emissaries at once."
And so, to my protests, he had sent a delegation of Lich Guard bearing his terms of peace to the Imperial High Command post. I had observed from the crest of a dune the cold winds of Ulysses Prime whispering through my form as the humans responded, predictably, with lass fire and artillery. The Lich Guard fell in silence, their gleaming bodies crumpled under the weight of human barbarity. When I returned to the Nemesor with news of the massacre, he was unshaken.
"Tragic,"
he said, stroking his chin.
"But a necessary sacrifice to gauge their character. It seems they lack the wisdom to embrace diplomacy. Very well. We shall educate them."
Education in Zahndrekh's terms often meant another chance to repeat his errors. I could not allow this. The humans had to be dealt with swiftly and decisively before their foothold on Ulysses Prime grew any stronger. If the Nemesor would not act, I would. The Ghostwalk mantle hummed softly as it integrated with my systems, its ancient protocols linking me to the phalanxes under my command. With this device, I could traverse the battlefield as easily as a shadow slipping through the cracks in the light. It would be my weapon against the Imperium's leadership, a scalpel to sever the head from the body of their war machine. I assembled a strike force of Lichguard and Deathmarks, selecting only those units whose efficiency matched my own. Speed and precision would be our allies. The Deathmarks, their synaptic systems calibrated for assassination, would eliminate key officers from range. The Lichguard, their shields and blades gleaming like polished obsidian, would serve as my vanguard when the time came to confront the Imperials directly. The Nemesor, of course, was unaware of my plan. He believed I was overseeing routine operations, a convenient fiction that spared him the burden of questioning my actions. By the time he realized what had transpired, it would be too late to object. The Imperial Command Center was a fortress of steel and concrete, surrounded by trenches and gun emplacements. A network of Vox relays crackled with orders, their human operators scurrying like insects in the dim glow of their floodlights. Sentinel walkers patrolled the perimeter, their searchlights sweeping across the desolate terrain. It was a formidable position for a conventional assault, but I had no intention of fighting on their terms. With a silent command, I activated the Ghost Walk mantle. The fabric of reality folded around me and my forces, and we stepped through the veil of space-time, emerging within the heart of the enemy stronghold. The humans had no time to react. One moment their command hub was secure, the next it was a slaughterhouse. The Deathmarks struck first, their Gauss rifles firing in synchronized bursts. Each shot was a precision kill, vaporizing officers and communications specialists before they could sound the alarm. The Lichguard followed, their war scythes cleaving through walls and bodies alike with grim efficiency. I waded into the fray, my own war scythe singing as it parted flesh and steel with equal ease. The Imperials were unprepared for such an assault. Those who attempted to mount a defense were cut down swiftly, their primitive weapons useless against our necrodermis. Within minutes, the command structure lay in ruins, its personnel reduced to charred remnants and dismembered limbs. In the aftermath of the slaughter, I stood amidst the wreckage, my war scythe dripping with molten slag and blood. The Ghost Walk mantle hummed softly, its systems ready to extract us should reinforcements arrive. But I knew the battle was won. With their command structure annihilated, the Imperial forces would falter, their lines collapsing under the weight of confusion and fear. It was then that Zahndrekh arrived. He strode into the ruined command post with his usual regal bearing, his ornate staff of office gleaming in the flickering light of the burning structures. His Lichguard accompanied him, their shields raised as if to ward off an attack that would never come.
Obyron,
He said, his tone measured but tinged with disapproval.
What is the meaning of this carnage?
Victory, Nemesor, I replied, inclining my head. The Imperials are broken. Their forces will crumble without leadership. He surveyed the scene, his gaze lingering on the shattered remnants of the human officers. For a moment, I thought he might rebuke me, but then he sighed.
A regrettable necessity,
He said at last.
though I wish you had consulted me before taking such drastic measures.
There was no time. The humans would not have waited for our deliberations. Action was required. And I acted. He nodded slowly, his expression inscrutable.
Very well, Obyron. Let it not be said that I am ungrateful for your service. But next time, remember that even in war, there is honor to be preserved.
I did not reply. There was no point in arguing with Zahndrekh's delusions. My loyalty was to him, not to his misguided ideals. If preserving his life and his vision of the galaxy required me to act without his approval, then so be it. The destruction of the Imperial command post sent shockwaves through their ranks. Leaderless and demoralized, their forces on Ulysses Prime fell into disarray. Within days, we had reclaimed the planet, securing the tombs of our dormant brethren, and driving the humans back into the void. Zahndrekh, ever magnanimous in victory, spoke of granting the Imperials the honor of retreat. I ensured that their retreat was anything but honorable, harrying their forces with Deathmark assassins and annihilation barges until they were little more than scattered remnants. In the end, the Nemesor believed the campaign to be a triumph of diplomacy and chivalry. I did not disabuse him of this notion. It was better that he remain in his dream, a dream in which the Necrontyr still ruled with grace and honor. As for me, I returned to my duties, ever the pragmatist to his dreams. For as long as Nemesor Zahndrekh walked the stars, I would be by his side, the blade in his shadow, ensuring that his delusions did not bring about his undoing.